Hello, welcome to Apocalypse Otaku. I'm your host Shar, and I am here to give you your anime voice actor birthdays, your Adult Swim schedule, and some more MCU news. I know you can't get enough of it. It's the reason why you're here. So, there are no birthdays today, so we're gonna go right over to the news. And this is by Screen Rant. MCU Theory. Hawkeye's trailer secretly explains Black Widow's credits scene. So, for those of you who have seen Black Widow, at the end, the end credit, it kind of explains it. Black Widow's post credits teased Yelena Belova will be going after Clint Barton, and the Hawkeye trailer may reveal just why she's on this mission. The Black Widow post-credits scene set up a confrontation between Yelena Belova and Clint Barton, and Hawkeye's trailer may have just explained it. From the very beginning, the promise of the Marvel Cinematic Universe was that its various heroes and the potential to cross over, taking a trip straight from the comics. Marvel has had as much fun bringing their heroes into a head-on collision as they have teaming them up. And Black Widow's post-credit scene seemed to set up one particularly interesting encounter. Sparring matches between Natasha Romanoff's Black Widow and Hawkeye have become something of a joke, with the best buddies clashing in the Avengers, Captain America Civil War, and even Avengers Endgame. But there's a new Black Widow in town. Natasha's little sister, Yelena Belova. And so appropriately enough, Black Widow's post-credits set up Yelena hunting Hawkeye down, working for Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, Val, who doesn't want to be called Val, in the post-blip world. Yelena was assigned to kill the man blamed for Natasha's death. All of which raised an obvious question. Why did the Contessa want Hawkeye dead? He's literally been trying to retire to spend time with his family since before the superhero war. So frankly, Clint Barton, should be the least problematic member of the Avengers for her. No matter what the Contessa's true agenda might be, fortunately, the first Hawkeye trailer may have provided an answer. As suspected, the Hawkeye trailer confirmed that in the aftermath of the blip, Clint has indeed attempted to retire in order to spend some quality time with his family. They're planning to have their first Christmas together in quite some time. Right up until the moment Clint sees news footage showing the murderous vigilante Ronin has returned. As viewers know, but the general public apparently don't, or what they wrote is don't. Ronin was the identity Clint took after his family was snapped out of existence by Thanos. While wearing that mask, he cut a bloody swath through the world's underworld, murdering those he believed didn't deserve to live. Black Widow caught up with him in the end, inspiring him to abandon his life as a serial killer and help reverse Thanos' snap. And Clint has been trying to put the past behind him. Unfortunately, the appearance of what seems to be a copycat killer means that he has no choice but to send his kids back home with his wife and pick up his bow and arrow once again. But while the general public may not know Ronin was really Hawkeye under another name, that isn't necessarily the case with the US government, for whom the Contessa presumably works, as confirmed by Avengers Endgame. War Machine was well aware that Clint had gone rogue, and he even seems to have been monitoring projects to track the murderous vigilante down. That probably means his superiors in the US military were in the loop as well, and thus Contessa Valentia Allegra de Fontaine, Val, who has fingers in every pie, would know Ronin's true identity. If she caught sight of the same footage, she could be forgiven for presuming Clint had come out of retirement in the most brutal way. Especially if she knew Ronin was active in New York at the same time Clint happened to be visiting. Thus would perfectly explain why she decided to ask Yelena Belova to have him killed. If this is the case, then in reality, the person that Val once killed is not Hawkeye. It is the new Ronin. Unfortunately, Yelena Belova appears to have a more personal reason to target Clint. Val suggests he is to blame for Natasha's death. It's unclear how public the event of Avengers Endgame are in the MCU. Characters in WandaVision could give a blow for blow account of Endgame's final battle against Thanos, while in Spider-Man Far From Home, there were hints the time travel was a secret. But clearly both the Contessa, aka Val, and Yelena Belova know enough to hold Clint responsible, and Val has just sent the new Black Widow on a mission to kill him. The stakes really couldn't get much more personal than this. Oh man. As noted, Hawkeye versus Black Widow fights for something of a traditional in the MCU, but this particular clash will be very different simply because Yelena is going for the kill. The interesting question is whether Hawkeye will know who has been sent to assassinate him. Presumably, he'll recognize Yelena's fighting style, having working alongside Natasha Romanoff for so many years. But he doesn't know Nat. He does know Nat used to have a younger sister. If he doesn't, then he may well simply assume a former Red Room operative is targeting him and simply try to take Yelena out himself, alternatively. If he does, he'll no doubt be devastated to be fighting someone Nat loved, and will try to talk Yelena down instead. Meanwhile, Kate Bishop's Ronan adds another wrinkle to the plot because of this theory is if this theory is correct, then she is Yelena's true target. This is definitely something of a tangled web, and it will be entertaining to see how all the different characters resolve their differences. Another theme of the Hawkeye Disney Plus TV series is clearly family, which means there's no way the show can end with Clint Barton and Yelena Belova remaining at cross purposes. Sorry. They both meant too much to Natasha, and besides, just as Black Widow / Hawkeye fights are tradition in the MCU. So are there resolutions? Given this is set around Christmas, who knows? Perhaps Hawkeye will end with Clint's wife setting some new seats at the dining room table for Christmas dinner, with both Yelena and Kate Bishop welcomed as part of the wider Hawkeye family. That would certainly be a fitting end. One that honored everything the first Black Widow meant to them all. And it would be heartwarming to see Yelena interact with Nathaniel Barton. the young boy who was actually named in honor of her big sister. So, what do you guys think? Do you think there'll be an extra place at the table for Yelena and Kate, or for Christmas, or are they just still gonna be button heads? Uh, just leave me a message down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter at Apocalypse Otaku 1. And on that note, let's dive right into the Adult Swim for Friday, October the 22nd. Starting at 9 o'clock, we have American Dad. 11 o'clock, we have Rick and Morty. At midnight, starting at midnight until 3 a.m., you have Space Ghost, Coast to Coast. And then at 3 a.m. is going to be Rick and Morty. 4 a.m. is going to be Tim and Eric's Bedtime Stories. At 4:30 is going to be infomercials. And finally at 5 a.m. to round out your night, if you're still awake, is going to be Home Movies. So if you guys aren't subscribed, please go ahead and do that now. Hit that subscription button, ring that bell, and also give us a thumbs up if you like what we're doing. And also tell people who love anime or the MCU or both about us. And on that note, as usual, I'll see you in the next video.